The era of good feelings arose after the War of 1812, and it was a misnomer, for it was filled with tension regarding tariffs, slavery, and political power within the Democratic Republican Party.
Although the U.S. was growing in some aspects, economically, the country did not prosper during the beginning of the 19th century. The Tariff of 1816 placed a 20% duty on all imported goods. John C. Calhoun supported the tariff because it limited the foreign market for Southern goods by inhibiting international trade. Daniel Webster, on the other hand, opposed the tariff, fearing that New England was not developed enough to withstand interruptions in its ability to trade freely with Britain. Henry Clay supported the tariff because it helped establish manufacturing and bring revenue for the South. The Tariff of 1828 was a protective tax on foreign imports such as cotton and wool. It was mainly used to protect New England's manufacturing industry. Unfortunately, the Old South was hurt by this tax because they had to pay higher taxes on certain goods. The foreign demand on cotton decreased. The Bank of the United States was proposed by Alexander Hamilton, and it was established in 1791. However, President Andrew Jackson vetoed the recharter of the National Bank after his re-election in 1832 because he believed that it only benefited the wealthy merchants and not the poor farmers he represented. The Panic of 1819 was caused by Western expansion and over-speculation. The National Bank extended too much credit and then had to rapidly reclaim property. It was a major loss of public confidence in the national financial structure. In addition to the economic struggles, the role of women and slaves did not improve during the era of good feelings. The Missouri Compromise of 1820 admitted Missouri as a slave state and Maine as a free state. Slavery was mainly in the South, where consumers were desperately poor. Slaves worked for the huge demand of cotton. The South produced more than half of the cotton that was produced. The African slave trade was outlawed by Congress in 1808, but the domestic trade flourished and the U.S. slave population nearly tripled in the next 50 years. Farm women and girls worked in the pre-industrial economy. For example, they worked in spinning yarn, weaving cloth, and making candles, soap, butter, and cheese. The opportunities for women to be economically self-supporting was scarce, and most working women were single. Infrastructure in the era of good feelings was founded through Henry Clay's American system. One example of improved infrastructure was the Erie Canal, which helped with agricultural production, and it also improved industry.
Political parties in the United States had many opposing ideologies and lacked unity. After the War of 1812, the Federalist Party died, and in its place came the Democratic Republican Party. The Democratic Republican Party became deeply divided. Van Buren, who was a New York politician, was a key player in creating the second party system. In 1823, the Monroe Doctrine was created, and it was a policy against European countries from colonizing the Americas. Jackson believed in a limited federal government and that each state should not have its own constitution. The era of good feelings is often associated with nationalism. However, there was also sectionalism, which is loyalty to your own region, not your whole country. Sectionalism arose because of the issues of slavery. The South needed slaves for their cotton production, but the North opposed slavery. This continued till the Civil War.